Hello everybody, in this lesson we continue with the Flutter tutorial series, and in this lesson we start with state management with BLoc and counter application. The final result may be like here. We have two buttons with two events, and the events allow you to change the value of counter by increase or decrease. So we create a blank project using Flutter create counter app. The counter app is my application name or project name, and we open the Android Studio or Visual Studio Code. It is the same. In Android Studio, you browse to the counter app folder, and we can see some of the little code here. We remove some unnecessary code and replace the home with the widgets of center, and you open the simulator in iOS or open emulator in Android. So the Xcode is open in background, and then you can see the output in your iOS simulator. We have a Flutter demo as title, and the text is the center of your screen. So we paste the Flutter BLoc library inside here, inside the dependencies property. So Command S and press yes. So here we have two events, increase or decrease. So this is your phone. Your phone may maybe your iOS or Android devices, and we have two buttons: the button to increase, the button to decrease. So two buttons mean maybe you have two events. When you press a button, you may have two events, increase or decrease. The event here may be a variable or enumeration, or more complicated, it may be a class. Inside the lib, we create some folder, some directory, or some packages. We define the name by events. Event here is a package name. So in event, we add a new counter event. The counter event here, for simplify, we use enum or enumeration. Enum counter event has two value, increase or decrease. So we have two events. So after having events, we may have BLoc. So we create new package, name it as BLoc, and in your application it may have many BLoc. What is BLoc? BLoc is a class where it contains a map event to state. The method here allows you to convert the old state to the new state depending on the event. Yes. So we name counter BLoc. It must extend from the BLoc generic class. This generic class has two types: event and state type. Event here is counter event, I have just defined, and state type here is integer. You must define the initial state here. The initial state must not be null. So if it is integer, we can set it as 0. Yes. So the initial state here is a getter which responds to 0. So your phone here and your value of the state may be here. It may be from 1 to 3, and it may decrease to 1 or 0. Yes. So it is my state or your application state, because many widgets can see that state, not only your private widgets. So the important here is a function of map event to state. The function here allow you to define the new state or the updated state after you send an event to your application. So maybe in this case we have to yes, we have many events. Here is input. We have many event input, and the output here is updated state, the updated state, and the method here is a map event to state function. The function is an abstract method in your BLoc. So you can depend on your event and set a new state. So what about the stream function? Well, we can learn more about the stream function here. The stream function is a function which will return many value or yield. If the function return many values, it yield many value. Yes, one call but yield several times the output. So it is a stream function. So we will learn next time. So thanks for watching and see you in next lesson. Bye bye and see you again. Hello everyone. Now I continue with Flutter tutorial with state management using BLoc and counter application part 2. In part 2, we continue with some basic or some fundamental method. So the final result may be like here, counter up. In counter up we have two increase button and decrease button. So what about the stream function? Stream function means that we have a function with one input and we have multiple output. So for example, we call one time, but we can get the output many times. We have a value 1, value 2, value 3, etc. And the yield mean a return without finish. And after all, it will return the value x to end the function. Yes, so you can yield many value but return only one value. In the previous lesson, we defined a function, a stream function here. Yes, in this case, I define a stream function. A stream function return multiple value. And in this case, I yield 2, I yield 5, I yield 7. But the yield 7 not work because it is end when it return. Yes, when returns the function is end, but yield the function will continue. So here I will call this function by defining a reference result reference to the stream function to reference the function. To call a function the first time, and I change the name to stream, and then if I want to get all the value of the function, you have to for it. You call for it, yes, and debug your program like here. Set a breakpoint like this, and debug your program step by step to see the output. So after the build function is called, the stream function is run. Yes, it is running now, and it is stream. And next, I'll continue to yield. The first time it yield the first value, yield 2. So the element here is 2, and the next lesson and the next yield we yield 5 and etc. 7. Yes, and the function will finish when it encounters the return syntax, the return line, and you for loop using for each function, and it is a stream function would return to the value of integer. Yes, so you remove this because now you have a basic understanding of stream function, and you apply the stream function to map event to state. Depending in the event, you can check if errors, but in this case for simply or for simple, you can switch case because the event here is an enumeration. Yes, so we have two case: increase or decrease. Yes, we have two case, and we print the state here. At this line, the state is a value of your state, or this state can be used in multiple widgets. For example, if you have 3 widgets, you can use this state, or the state like a global state or share state. So the variable here is current state is 0 because the initial state you set 0 for it. Okay, so now you click to event. You have BLoc, and what about the value of the state? I cannot see the value state change, so let create a new Dart file and counter page. The counter page here is the user interface. I use a material design, so I import the material Dart from Flutter. I create the class of counter page. It stands from widgets or stateless widgets. Yes, quite simple. And the stateless widgets we build. We have build function. The build function return to the user interface or many widgets. I return maybe a center, a scaffold. A scaffold is a screen which contains a background, a header, and the body. Yeah, the body here may you can use a text. For example, for testing, you define a text with value. This is counter. This counter app, and you use style the text by changing font size, changing font name, family name. And you copy this, or you remove and replace the counter page here as a home of the material app. So this is counter app, and run your program again to see. Yes. So here I see a very small text in the top of your screen or in the top of your device. And you replace to the safe area. The safe area is an area that removes the up and down. It is only used in iPhone. Yes, your iPhone X, iPhone XS. Okay, and you set the style with the text style object. Font size increase about 30, and okay, yeah. So it is the very basic user interface you need to do in order to call the function in the event and see the change state. Yes. So this is the end of my lesson today. Thank you very much for watching, and see you in next later. Bye bye. Hello everyone. In this lesson, we continue with the previous from the previous lesson about how to use the example counter app to demo the managing how to manage the state inside your application. So the final result may be like here. We have 2 buttons, 2 event, and we have 1 text to display the updated state value. So we have the counter app, the counter page. The counter page is my custom widgets which contain the text. And I remove the text now, and we add if I want to add multiple widgets inside, you can use column, you can use container, you can use row. Yes, so inside the column I add many children or many child of widgets inside. I add the text at the top, and the text may be your application name, your page name, to action event like here. Okay, we add a flat button below the text, the flat button with increment is the name. And the text type, we increase the font size, we change the color of the text, we change, we added inside a container widgets to decorate by adding margin padding inside by surrounding by a container widgets. So decrement and increment, we have two buttons. We set the margin for it. Then now I can change the color, because two events may have two separated color. We set the alignment for the column by adding main axis and cross axis alignment. Yes, and the on press is called when you press your finger to the button and an event is has been sent. So change as green ascent and red ascent is beautiful, I think, but you can use any other color as you like. Okay, so paste your text, so the text content. So let's copy this widgets and surround it by a block builder. The block builder is where you can use your updated state managed by block. Yes, you can use the state which has been managed by block inside the block builder. The block builder is a generic class with block name and type of state with the property of build. The build function here is a function which contains the updated state. So the state value or the new state value is refreshed to here. So we return to the widgets that contain the updated state. So without block builder, any change in the block cannot be affected to the block builder. Yes. So here maybe counter here is the new state or the updated state, and you paste the column inside the builder function of the block builder. Okay. Yes, semicolon here to finish a line. Yes, something wrong. Maybe something wrong because missing something. Okay, and counter page. Yeah, so the block provider here inside the block provider, it will create the block objects. The block object has been created here to use for any other child of this block builder, block provider objects. Okay, so the block provider mean it is where to create the block object and share to over to other child at a breakpoint to your application, and now run the program and see. Okay, so after pressing increase, you can see that the program has been moved to here. So we have on press in the upper, we have on press in the increase and decrease. Okay, so the program will run to here. But there are some mistakes here. You must add the event to the existing block object to allow the block to convert from event to the new state. Okay, so you can use type counter block and add the counter event dot increase. Okay, send the event to the block. Yes, next. Okay, I think it is better. So inside the map event to state, you must add a breakpoint to see the zero state and the new state. Yes, add a breakpoint to here and here. Next, to see the program here. So after pressing, I can see the state. So here it is the initial state, but you must increase or change by defining the new state is equal to the zero state increase 1, and you yield the new state. Yes, yield means that the function will not. And thank you so much for watching. Bye bye. Hello everybody. In this lesson we continue from the previous lesson about how to use BLoc to manage state in an example of counter application. The final result may be like here. We have the event of increase, event of decrease, and the result is the state or the updated state to show to display in the screen. So we have a BLoc, and the BLoc receive the event from the user interface. For example, user press to the button, and the BLoc will convert the old state to the new state or to the updated state through the function of map event to state. Okay, so this is the content of the method map event to state of the BLoc. So the BLoc has two types, event type and state type, and it is a generic class. So open the previous lesson, run the program again, and press to here. Set a breakpoint, and next to see the current state or the initial state. The initial state is an integer 0, and it increased 1, so the new state is 1. Okay, so the new state and the previous state is separated, and it only changes when it comes through the map event to state. So now press again to debug your program. Okay, press the program again here. So we have state 2. Okay, and now I want to display the value. So the value of the update state is here. So I know that it is the counter, so I change to counter, but you can also change it to state. It is the same value, but you can change another name. Set breakpoint at anywhere you need to display the value of the value of the variable or the state. Okay, so we display to the text, which is like here. You change the style of the text, you change the color, the text color, and add the text below the increment button and above the decrement button. Okay, so it is quite simple. Okay, so let's set breakpoint and test again to see the result for this case. Okay, so here you can see that you press next, okay, and press increment, so the state here is 1, and the state will be increased. Yes, and increment. Now map event to state, and then update. Okay, and what about the decrement button? The decrement button send or add the event decrement to the BLoc. Yes, so what about this? I copy and change the event to decrement. Yes, and next. Okay, yes, so this is quite simple and help you easier to understand what the BLoc do. And okay, next. Okay, good. I think it is proper, and now you can run the overall application again without debugging to see the flow and to see the final result like here. Okay, so after pressing next. Okay, good. So no problem with all with my application now again. So okay, so this is the end of my lesson today about how to use BLoc to manage the state in an application. Thank you so much for watching, and hello everyone. In this lesson we will continue with state management using BLoc, and I use a example of infinite list application. So for example, in this lesson we have a list or a list item with comment object 2, comment object 3, etc. and the end of the list. When you scroll down to the end of the list, the program will send a comment event fetch to the block, and here we have the final index. The final index may be from 0 to 19, and here it is the number of record per page. For example, one page we may have 20 items, and we have a page 1, page 2, like here. Then we will have the final index for each page, okay, here. So it's called final index for each year. So you create a new project using Flutter create, and a skeleton of the project has been generated, and then you can open using command line or open with Android Studio or Visual Studio Code. List all. pubspec.yml contain configuration or library or package in your application or in your project. Okay, open Android Studio. Click to open an existing Android Studio project. Click to infinite list app. Okay, then remove some unnecessary code. For example, theme. Replace home with my widgets. Okay, define a new widget name. Infinite list. It is the widgets which contain the list. Okay, click to remember, and define a class infinite list extend from stateless widgets, and we return. Yes, maybe we return a scaffold or screen with the body. Safe area is used in iPhone only, iPhone X, iPhone XS, with safe area. Yes, and the home here is the infinite list, which is I have just defined. So I call this, okay, infinite list. Remove this. Yes, remove it line. Okay, run, and then increase my text. Increase, this is infinite list text. Increase size by adding text style, increasing font size. Okay, so the font size maybe here 32, and replace with list view. So the list view here is a builder list view with item builder. Item builder is a function. In this function, I describe the detail. The detailed content of my list item. The item count mean the item count is about 5 elements, and the item builder will return to widgets. We can use list tile for simple. For simple, you can use list tile. With leading text. Reading text is the number, the index. For example, 0, 1, 2, 3, and the title here maybe hello, how are you? Okay, and is 39 is true means that it allow you to use a long text with maximum of 3 lines. Subtitle means a long text below the title. So this is the first message for testing, for example. And style property means text style. You increase the font size, yes, 18, and the font width, maybe font width dot bold. Yes, so it is some very basic for setting up a list view with list item, with customized list item. Okay, Command S. So remove font width is here. Okay, so Command S to save your project and then rerun the program again. Okay, so maybe it is better. Yes. Okay, so we have the title in bold width in bold, and the subtitle is in normal. Okay, so it is the first message for testing. Yes, it is enough for you. Yes, change the text for longer and test for each 3-line property. Okay, yes, so a long text may be here. Okay, so this is very basic, and about introduction about this project. We will continue in the next lesson about how to fetch API, how to do with BLoc. Thank you very much for watching, and see you in the next lesson. Bye bye. Hello everybody. In this lesson we will continue from the previous lesson about how to manage state using BLoc, and the example of infinite list app. And in this lesson we can send a request from your iOS or Android device or your application to a server. This server may be your own build server, or in this case I use a free JSON placeholder server. This server will supply you a request with JSON response, and after you receive the response from the JSON placeholder, you can print, you can display the list here. So you convert the list to the list of comment and display to the user interface. Okay, so open the previous project and create a new package, and the package name services. Services is where we store some function to send requests from your application to the server. Okay, and the Dart file, you can create a Dart file, service dart. Okay, so this is my JSON placeholder. You can Google search for some of the free, and you copy the link and paste to here, and here is comment. Okay, it is a list of objects with some of the property: my post ID, name, email. Then you must have a model to display the entity, or so I call this package name models. Inside model I create a new Dart file. Yes, so create Dart file. Okay, and give it a name comment. So define the class comment with some of the property, post ID, name. Okay, you define a final, so you must supply the constructor, because it is only create one time for one object. We have a final string email, we have a final string body. Okay, so the comment here is has some property like the response API from the internet, and right click to, yes, maybe infinite list. Okay, and refactor, you can refactor the name to infinite, and list is, yes, lowercase. Okay, and services. Okay, so in services I define as a function of get comment from API. This is an asynchronous function, means that when this function is running, other function can also be run parallel. Okay, so asynchronous. This is a link to the web service. Okay, so this is a link I have just do in I have just paid to the browser. So let's use try get to call the function to get, because you maybe have some error like server error or internet error or network error. So define a property named HTTP client. Initialize the client object from HTTP module. The HTTP module is very useful to which allow you to send requests from your application to the server. So click to the installing and copy this line, paste to here, and pub get to update the code or the library from the internet. Okay. So inside the try get block, you can send requests by using HTTP module. You import the HTTP module from here, yes, and you make an alias for it as HTTP. You make it as HTTP. Okay. So using the HTTP module, you can send requests, post request and get request. Let's use await. Await means this function is asynchronous, but after finish this line, it continue to the next line, or the process is in sequence. Okay. So after we have response, I can use print something to set breakpoint. Yes, this is only for setting breakpoint. You can get comment from API. So in in service.dart, you must call it from within the service.dart, but you can test by moving code here. So get comment from API. Yes. Okay. So you click mouse to here and see that the response, and here is a stated code. The stated code allow you to determine that the request is full or success. Okay. So you check by typing response.status code is 200. Yes, if it is 200, it's successful. It's maybe successful, and you decode using the decode function by JSON.decode to convert your response to a list. Yes, but it is not a list of comment object, but it is a list of objects. Okay. So the response data here is a list of objects. We can set some property. Okay, so click and set breakpoint. Debug your program. Okay, so debug your program here. You can see the final response data getting from the internet. Okay. So click your mouse, move your mouse to response data and see the result. Okay, so let's right click here. You can see, yes, some object. Okay, but if you change the parameter, the query parameter for the get request, for example, you set start and limit. Okay, so what is start and limit? For example, we have many page 1 start from 0 and reboot to 20 element, and page 2 from here to here. So start we have also start and limit like here. So here we have many page, and we have two parameters, start and limit, get from API. Okay. Start from 0, start from 20. Okay, it is a start. So it is easier for you to see by seeing this. Okay, so run the program again. Yes, okay, and move your mouse to response data to see the result. So here we have 20. Yes, we have 20 objects get from the internet, and the object here is like map object, mean the object of key and value. So I must convert this object to comment object. Yes, so add the parameter to the function start and limit, add the parameter to the function like here, so int limit. So you must call this function from service from the infinite list widgets. So infinite list widgets, you change to 0 to 20. Okay, and then run the program again, debug the program. Okay, and yeah, okay, so we have a list of map and tree. Yes, the result no change, but we replace the input parameter for get comment from API. So we change the parameter again, and then debug your program. Yes, and see the result. Okay, so the breakpoint here, we can see the response data, 20 objects like here. Yes, okay, maybe good. Okay, so now I must convert this object to comment object. Yes, we have many with property, with some property here. So convert response object to list of comment. How to do this? We can use the map function. We create a comment objects, the comment list of object. Okay, and you use map. Inside the map function, we iterate every item inside the list. We iterate by using this function inside the map. Okay, so we must return a comment object. The comment object calls the initialize the constructor getting from key. Yes, we input the key for the comment object when we read, and we get the value for the key. Yes, and we initialize the comment object, and we return the list of comment like here. You must convert this to list. Debug the program. Press to print breakpoint. Add breakpoint to here. Yes, and run the program. Okay, so the comment size 1, 2, 3. Oh yes, some property like here. In case of error, here you need to return to a blank list of comment objects. So else return to the blank list of comment. Okay, and the same as with catch. Catch means that when we encounter an exception, as you display the detail about it. Okay, so thank you very much for watching this video today. See you next video. Bye bye. Hello everyone. In this tutorial, we continue from the previous lesson about state management with BLoc, and with the example of infinite list arc. So in this lesson, we have a list of comments here, and when the user scroll down the list to the end, the program will send comment fetch event to the BLoc. Yes, the BLoc will receive this event and it will load next page depending on the event. So now create some package. For example, event package. The second package is BLoc package. And so every part has one package. So we have BLoc, we have event, we have state. So state, okay. And then I add, firstly I want to add the event inside the event BLoc. And you have to insert the library. So search for library of Flutter BLoc and copy Flutter BLoc library here. Copy and paste inside the dependencies, and then update by pressing pub get to update the library. We also have another important library, equal-table. Equal-table is a class which allow you to compare content of two objects. Yes, you compare two content of two objects using equal-table. So run Flutter and new Dart file. You create a new Dart file and name it comment event. This file will contain your events. In previous lesson, I use enum or enumeration, but now you want to use equal-table because I want to add parameter inside a comment. So define an abstract class comment event extend from equal-table. We implement the get prop to determine what's the difference between two objects, two equal-table objects. So is the list of property which allow you to determine the difference between two objects. So define the class comment fetch event extend from comment event and create new Dart file name comment state. This will contain state. So we do similarly with the event. The state is also an equal-table object, and we have a comment state. So the comment state may have some, for example, initial, fail, or success. Maybe. And the comment state may have three states. The initial state is a state which is the first time you load. The second is fail, and the third is success. So this lost first time. So the BLoc, you define a Dart file name comment blocks. Okay. So I define a class of comment BLoc extend from BLoc generic type of comment BLoc and comment state. Yes, the generic type of comment BLoc. Okay, and I imported Flutter BLoc here, but I must initialize state by using the constructor by initialize the state. Okay, so it is initialize the state have comment state initial. Okay, so comment BLoc. Okay, so you check for the event is a function of map event to state. This function allows you to see the change between the change between old state to new state depending on your event. So you check if it reach to end of one page by checking has reached end of one page. So I will check if the state is successful or the final. the final element or the hash rich n is true. So it allows you to check whether you scroll down to the last item in the page. Okay, and you must check if the event is comment fetch event and it has at the end of one page or not. Okay, so you check if still not reach the end of one page. You must check the state, the current state. If the current state is initial, so it was the first time, and otherwise, if the comment state success, you must check if the next page is empty. So you must yield the comment state success which has rich and is true. Okay, so remove this because it is unnecessary. Okay, so define a final number of record per page. So here is number comment is 20, about 20 comment for one page. So I get the comment list by calling a sync function by typing await get comment from API from 0 to number of comment per page. So I get the list of comment here. If the state is comment state initial, so I get the list of comment here. So I check if the comment is empty. If the comment is empty, so if the comment is empty, I can load. Okay, so this is a final page. If the comment is is empty, so I check the comment state success. I yield the comment state success. Okay, and if the comment is empty, you must change the hash rich n to true. Okay, so don't do that. You cannot do that because you cannot change state here. You must clone the state and change the value and yield the new state. You cannot change directly here. Okay, you only yield new state here. So inside the comment state success, you define a function named clone with. Clone it with is a function that clone an object of comment state success and change the value in the clone object depending on the input parameter. Input parameter here is the change or the updated property of the clone success state. Okay, so if we have a object like here, have property of comments and has reached n, and I want to clone this, then I use the clone with function I have just defined, and this will clone a similar object with same content, and you fetch the change property inside the new object. Okay, so this is a separated object with change property. You add the change property to here. Okay, so thank you very much for watching this lesson. Thank you, and see you next time in the next lesson. Bye bye. Hello everybody. In this lesson we will continue from the previous lesson about state management with BLoc and infinite list app. So in this lesson we define the clone with function. The clone with function return to a new comment state success with comment and hash rich n. Okay, so we have two property, comment and hash rich n. When the comment is none, it will get 0 comment. Okay, so if the hash rich n is null, so it will leave unchanged. Okay, so if this comment is equal to none, then get this, so I will get this value. Otherwise, the same as with has reached event. Yes, so this comment here is the comment property of comment state success, or the O value, yes. So it is also called the and with operator. Okay, so you remove this and bring this code line of code into this block. So the comment here is get from the API using await. So firstly I must get the final index of current page, or the last index of the current page. It is from the comment.length. Okay, so it is a final index of current page. Then the final comment is await, because the function get comment from API is an asynchronous function, so you must use await, and use await to call this function with final index from final index of current page to plus number of comment per page. Okay, and if the comment is empty, you must yield the same. You must yield the same property, the same object of state, but change the has reached end to true. Otherwise, you must yield the comment state success. You initialize and change the value into it. So the comment here is now is O comment. The comment here is now the O comment. So you must get the current page. Okay, so the current page, I know that it is comment state success in this case. So I give it a name, current state. Then in this case, the comment here is current state dot comment. Yes, push more comment. So here we merge two array comment using plus. Yeah, so we try get in map event to state, because inside this I call the function of get from API, so I must add try get inside, and you copy and paste. And in the case of error, you must yield the comment state failure or fail. When is this fail? When the network is fail, when the server is down. Okay, so we must set the block provider to provide the block to the specific. You must provide to a specific component or specific widgets. Yes. So in infinite list, I can get a block here using block builder. Yes, you surround the block builder to the list view, and after that I must check the state is comment state initial. If the current state is comment state initial, it return a center widget with a child of circular progress or loading or so loading. If the state is comment fail, it return to the center with the arrow up cannot load comment from server. And otherwise, if the state is success, I can get the current state to the value of state to current state, and then I check the current state comment. If it is empty, I return to a center widget with a text empty comment. Yes. Okay. Then I can run the program to see the output. Okay, something wrong because you must add the semicolon. Okay, you must add the value inside the object here. So current state dot comment at index dot id to get the id property value. And the title here may be, okay, the title here may be current state dot comment dot id, no, dot email. There's comment at a specific index dot email. Okay, and then we add more property, just email and the body. Yes, replace with body. Yes, okay, and body. And the item count is a list of comment. So it is current state. You check the current state has reached the final. If it has reached the final item, so the item count the length of comment. Otherwise, you must place more one item for loading. Yes, and this is a controller. The controller is where to control the scroll event of the user. When user scroll down, then the controller will see the position that your finger put. Okay, so the current test replace to state. The item count may be length or length plus 1. The one here is the loading when you scroll down to the last item in a page, and you must have a scroll controller. A scroll controller means a controller object which allow you to get the value or get the property when the user scroll to a specific position in the list. Yeah. And threshold is the high value that determine your position when you scroll to the final list, the final item in the page. Okay, so we define the infinite list as a stateful widgets with overriding the create state. Yes, and the create state function will return to the infinite list object. Yes, and the infinite list object underscore here is a state list with which is no, it is a state, the state of infinite list. Okay, so here is what we define. A stateful means that a state which contain widgets which contain state. Okay, so we override the init state and we initialize or we get the comment block here by calling block provider dot up context. Okay, so this means I get the current block that you provide in the previous. Okay, and we add the listener on scroll controller. Yes, firstly I calculate the maximum scroll extent and the current scroll, and I use this value to determine when you scroll to the final list, to the final item in the list or in the page, by comparing the max scroll extent minus current scroll less than or equal scroll threshold. So it means in this line it will scroll to the end of a page. Okay, so I must call the event or add the event of comment fetch event here by calling comment block add comment fetch event it's here. Okay, here is what you must change this to comment event, not comment block. Yes, wrong. You must set to comment event, not comment block. And here is comment fetch event and the infinite list. Here I change to I create a comment block here. I create a comment block here, and I add the comment fetch event as the first time when you create. Yes, it is the first time I add the comment fetch event, because when you open the list the first time, it calls this event. So for simplify, you can use comment block dot and add comment fetch event. Okay. Okay, so it is the way to send an event to block by using add function. Okay, so now I run the program. There are some error, and the first error here is missing semicolon. Yes, okay, good. And the second error maybe okay, the controller. Yes, I do not add this controller to this property. So underscore scroll controller and run the program again. Yes. So after running this program, I will receive. Yes. After running this program, wait a few seconds to build and run. Then I can see. Yes, the breakpoint here. The program will run to this breakpoint. Yes, after scrolling your program, okay, so the error occur because the item 20 is exit, and so you must define this. So when it is exit, the final will become loading widgets. It will become a loading widgets to show you that the program is loading data. Okay, so how to fix this? You must compare the current index to the compare with the length of the comment at the current comment length. Okay, and run the okay, so move to here, run the debugger. Yes, remove and check. Yes, let's check the index and compare the index to bigger than equal to the state.comment.length. Okay, yes, you compare the index and return container with the alignment. We set the alignment for the container center child with the size box and width and height 50%, 50 pixel, and use a circular progress indicator to show loading. Otherwise, return to list type. Okay, yes. It means that when you exit the list to the final, you can show the circular progress indicator. Okay, yes. So okay, run the program again to see. Okay, so first time it creates a block by calling block builder. It means it is the first time it creates a block. Yes, and it checks the state. So inside this I can check the state. Okay, and then the program in here to get the comments from API 0 to 20. Yes. So you must have dispose. The dispose function, when it dispose, it will dispose the scroll controller. Dispose the scroll controller. Okay, you remove this code line and replace a hash register and one page to the detail logic condition by remove this line and replace with comparing the hash register and comment fetch event. Okay, so no problem here. Okay, so next. Okay, so you print out the value of start and limit. Value of start and limit print after you get a list of comment object from API. So here limit, and run the program again. So now as the program run, and you can see. Okay, run the program again. Okay, so it run to the user interface at this first time, and secondly next. So after you scroll down to the final 20, yes, and final 20, it will show loading and add comment fetch event again. Yes, so next. Okay, so it will give you a flow understanding of this application, so you can see the detail object like here. Okay, start and limit. Yes, it is like your purpose when you run next. Okay, and next, and scroll down to the final. Okay, so this is the end of my lesson today, and thank you very much for watching. So let's see you next time. Bye bye.